what are the 3 afflictions plus the other problematic area according to Flying Stars Feng Shui for the year of the Jade Snake 2025? So we're going to look at your floor plan to discern which areas are the biggest problem and what tools you can use to ensure that you are working with this energy for the best possible outcome. So my name is Lydia Griffith. This is the Feng Shui and Bazi Chinese Astrology channel. And on this channel, I often like to read the charts of famous people because I think it helps us to better understand our own lives and our own astrology. So welcome. If this sparks interest for you, please subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss a single video. This is likely the last one that is specific to this preparing for the year coming that starts January 29th. So if you have questions, if you have comments, please put them in the comments below. Happy to answer any questions you might have. And also, I need to remind you, this is the best time to get your New Year astrology update. I am a master Bazi Chinese astrologer. I love doing these updates. I think it is such a useful tool to understand how to move through the year ahead in a way that is the most advantageous for you, even working with challenging astrology, right? So notice in the description below that I have all kinds of options for you as far as getting a reading. You can just do a 2025 update that's not a chart read. You can also do a written chart. And with a written chart, you also, just through this month of January, I'm still offering this, you'll get a free 2025 forecast with month-by-month predictions in that written report. All right, let's get into it. This isn't a super long video. We just have 3 or 4 spots on the Bagua wheel that we're really looking at here. So every year, according to the Flying Stars, we are looking at where these afflicted areas land, all right? And so the biggest one is always the Grand Duke. And the Grand Duke sits, it's also called the Tai Shui, and this sits where the annual animal is, right? So last year, 2024, the year that we're actually still wrapping up, was sitting in Southeast 1, which means it's at the very beginning of the Southeast. It's that breaking moment of the spring. We're in full-time spring there. Now we're moving into Southeast 3. Very close to the south is the Yang Fire Snake. And so that area, we do not want to face the southeast. I was realizing I'm going to need to move my desk next year because I'm facing south and I don't want to be sitting at an angle in my chair at any point and be facing southeast, because that is considered a very rude, disrespectful affront to the annual animal. So you never drive or travel towards the Southeast 3 direction. I'll give you the specific compass points here. It's 142.6 to 157.5, okay? And I'll also put this in the description below so you have that. All right, so this direction is so special that we want to put very specific cures there in order to not only honor the year of the snake, but to also offer you and your family and your home protection in the year ahead. Now, sitting opposite to the Grand Duke, opposite to the snake, is the pig in the northwest. That is called the Shui Po, or the year breaker. Like last year, we had the dragon and the dog. This year, it is the snake and the pig. People born on the day of the pig are going to feel this like a direct hit to your welfare and your romantic relationships. It is a year of great caution for anyone born on the day of the pig. And that being said, when we have challenging astrology, the best response is simply to simplify life. Scale everything back. Make it a more of a year of planning, doing things more behind the scenes, taking care of yourself, and developing a deeper spiritual life. That really is the root of what you can do with a challenging astrology. All right, so the Shui Po year breaker is sitting at 322 degrees to 337.5, okay? And you want to have your back to the southeast and face the northwest. That is kind of like the best way to frame that. And look at every chair you sit in, all right? From your living room, your den, to your dining room table, your kitchen table, wherever you are sitting and spending lengths of time, make sure that you are not facing southeast. All right. Then we have the three killings, which last year was in the south. This year it's in the east. It's also called the Sansha. This is 67.5 to 112.5 on the compass. This is every one of these afflicted areas requires that you do no renovations, no deep digging, no loud banging like playing drums or playing heavy metal music or any kind of loud commotion. I've often said nothing louder than a vacuum cleaner, just to give you an idea. And the thing to remember is that these energetic shifts that we experience year in and year out, and you'll notice that I also do monthly Flying Stars videos on this channel. You know, as we're working with the energy, we are learning to flow with the Tao. Life is not meant to be a constant flow. We have to come across obstacles. We have to come across redirection. We have to go through the challenges of life that are going to slow you down. And the point of slowing down isn't to fight harder, to keep going. The slowing down is an opportunity to sit, compost, imagine, innovate, figure it out, and then move forward. Wiser, stronger, rested, and ready. Not burned out, frustrated from banging on a door that just hasn't been opening, right? So we're learning to work with this energy. So along with this is in the northeast is the 5-star, which is 22.6 to 67.5 on the compass. I will say that for these afflicted areas, there's the 3 afflictions, and then there's the 5-star. The 5-star is an earth star in Flying Stars Feng Shui. It is attributed with everything and anything that could go wrong. Breakups, divorce, bankruptcy, losing your job, like everything and anything that could possibly go wrong in your life. It is what I've often referred to as a grenade with a loose pin. I don't want to mess with that. I don't know about you. I don't want to mess with that. All right. So these are the most conflicted, inauspicious directions for 2025. Let's recap. The East, the Southeast 3, Northwest 3, and the Northeast. And when you look at this when you look at how this is flowing, it is like Northeast, East, Southeast. All of that is a problem. And the video that I put out earlier this week, as I am recording this a week ahead, I am planning on doing the full flying stars of 2025 and drop that on Monday. That is the plan. And then this would come out on Thursday. So let's see if that actually happens. But the point is that it is like from the Northwest, the North, the Northeast, the East, the Southeast, that entire chunk of our homes, our offices, our businesses, every store, every building has this. It is some tough astrology this year, friends. So, all that being said, there are little bits of goodness that we can find in some of this Feng Shui, not all right? So, I think the message really is, all is fine as long as you leave it alone. Don't poke the bear. You want to get rid of the bee's nest, don't go after it with a stick, right? So it's a reminder that not every room in the house is meant to be active. One of the first things I would say to somebody, if they had, for instance, a Northeast room that they used regularly where the 5-star is, I would close the blinds, close the door, keep the room dark and dormant, and try not to use it. Because if a negative energy is left alone, that's what it does, it goes to sleep. But if you have a lot of light in that room, which is very yang energy, and the ceiling fan going, stirring it all up, and you've got kids and dogs and everything running around barking and crazy commotion, that energy is going to absolutely activate that negative chi, and then you're going to see the results, unfortunately, playing out in some part of your life. And I know having kids and dog and a big full life is challenging when you're trying to work with the Feng Shui and make that manipulation of where am I active and where am I not in my house this year. So let's scale it back, because I want to talk with you about the specific cures that you can use to ensure that this is going to work the best for you, okay? Let's start in the Southeast. This is where the 1-star is, but we also know that this is where the Grand Duke is, all right? So again, the compass direction 142.5 to 157.5, very close to the south. Now, this is what the cures that I use, and I'm affiliated with the Feng Shui Mall. I'll put the link below. I highly recommend them for all of your cures. They have beautiful, high quality pieces. And it's also a benefit for me, and I greatly appreciate that. So I'll put that link for you. One of the things I use are these PL beasties, is what I call them. And I face them into the southeast direction according to the compass degree I gave you. If this is a bedroom, you're going to want to use a Wooloo health gourd, something like this, okay? You put this on your bedside table if this is your bedroom. You can also do a salt water cure, okay? Salt water cure is a mason jar, salt, half water, and we're using coins in there, and I will put I will put it in the description, the recipe for the salt water cure. And that I like to put, you put plastic wrap over it, poke holes, screw on a lid, but again, we want it to breathe. So we've got coins in here, and then we've got the salt and the water. So it's 1 part salt to 1 part water. So it's gonna be a lot of salt. So that's why I just use the cheap stuff. Put it under your bed. But let me just say, you do not want to be sleeping in a southeast bedroom this year. That is just, that's going to be a challenge. So you want to be really, really careful with that. I always get an annual Tai Shui plaque. They're little beautiful plaques that that are the image of the Tai Shui, the Grand Duke. So it's a wonderful way to honor the annual animal. And then again, we want to make sure that there is no loud commotion. We want to honor the reigning zodiac animal of 2025, the snake, by leaving her alone. Okay. All right. So then we're going to come around to the 3-star, which is sitting in the northwest. And this is where we have the Shui Po year breaker, the enemy of the snake. And again, if this is a bedroom and you cannot sleep in another room of your house, then I would again use the Wooloo health gourd on your bedside table and the saltwater cure under your bed. Actually, I would do that for all of these afflictions. The thing is, friends, you don't want this as a front door. You don't want this as a main room in your house. And you certainly don't want to be sleeping in these directions. So all that being said, if you don't have a choice and you cannot move to a guest room or you cannot use a different door entrance, make sure that you've got the right cures in place and that you are using these quietly. Now, if it's a front door, I would use a bagua mirror that is reflecting back the negative energy coming to the house. And I would use gold food dogs on either side of the front steps. That is the best way to deal with it. All right. Coming around to the 5-star, which is in the northeast. And again, this isn't one of the 3 afflictions, but it is a very challenged direction. So the 5-star is an earth star. The northeast is an earth direction. So this 5-star is enabled, emboldened, and raring to go. And this is like a room you don't want to use with any regularity. You want to keep it dark. You want to keep it quiet. Now, thankfully for me, that's my sanctuary where I do all of my spiritual practices and I host my women's retreats. That's the room that we use the most. So I feel like if it is the use of that room is also important. If it is a shrine room, a practice room for your yoga or meditation, that's a fine thing because it's so peaceful. You're bringing in spirit. What other way could you possibly bless a space, right? So that feels really lovely. Not everyone has that lifestyle though. So one of the things that's great to use is a dragon-headed turtle, where you always make sure that the little dude doesn't face you, but is facing away from you. So a brass dragon-headed turtle, a singing bowl or a round metal bowl, can be a water, like a bowl for a dog dish or a cat dish. And outside your home, put a 6-rod metal wind chime outside to break up the energy. Another thing you can do for the 5-star is a chiming clock. The idea being that the metal is breaking up the energy, and the metal is a weakening element for the Earth star. All right. Then we're going to come around. The last one is the Sansha, the 3 killings, and this is where the 9-star, our big energy for period 9, is sitting in the east this year. So it's a tricky situation. It is a tough, that whole side of the Bagua this year is so conflicted. We want to work with the 9-star because it's such an abundant, prosperous energy, but we've got to keep it quiet. So you can bring in the amethyst crystals, you can bring in 9 silk purple flowers, and then to appease the Sansha affliction, you can use a dragon-headed turtle. Now, if you go to the Feng Shui Mall, they will have other cures mentioned for the 3 afflictions. Feel free to check them out. They have some really beautiful cures. I myself, after 22 plus years of using cures and silk flowers and crystals through the Flying Stars Feng Shui practice, I've learned really to simplify the number of cures that I have. Some years I do make an investment and I get some very special ones. But you don't have to break the bank buying a whole bunch of cures. Some of them are very expensive, but we can do this simply. So the link to the Kharma Khameleon website, you can check out all the blogs that I've written about this year 2025 with specific cures in mind, so you can see it all written down. It's so helpful, such a useful tool that you can refer back to throughout the year. If you have any questions or comments, welcome them always. And I hope that this has been helpful for you. So I want to just recap that the 3 afflictions that are happening this year are the east, the southeast, the northwest, and the northeast. And the cures to use, again, first and foremost, if you can avoid using these rooms, great. If you can keep these rooms quiet, inside and out, with no major construction, no major issues going on, that is the best. For a bedroom, saltwater cure under the bed, Wulu health gourd by your bedside table. If it's a front door, I believe it's a convex Bagua mirror, the one that deflects away, not bringing the energy to your home, but sending it out. And the food dogs on either side of the front steps. And that is all to protect you. All of these cures are a way of protecting you. There are other cures that I will talk about in the other video, the full video about the flying stars for 2025, where you will see that there are also ones that you can use to activate really positive energy, and a little of both. So check out that video as well. And until next time, friends, thank you so much. Please be well.